Hi everyone, Gretchen Wegner here. I'm an academic life coach for stressed out students, among the many things that I do. And I just want to check in this week with a special message to those of you who are doing the heroic job of graduating from high school this semester. I have a client who I'll tell a story about in a moment who is doing that. And it is no easy task to stay focused on what feels like the banality of schoolwork, right? When as a culture, we are wrestling, as a world, we are wrestling with the health impacts of the COVID pandemic, as well as in this last week, all of the growing eruption of feelings related to racism and police brutality in the United States. And with that as a backdrop, there are students who are still trying to turn in their final papers and their final exams so that they actually can finish up their high school career. And I want to say a thank you to all of the schools that have allowed the option of a pass-fail during this time. And one student who I was helping last week really needed that option of pass-fail. This is a student who has ADHD and anxiety and depression. And I've been working with him for many, many years. And he's always struggled, but this semester in particular, it was so hard for him to just get any work done. He's such a sensitive spirit, and he's really feeling everything that's happening in his own life and then also in the world. And last week, he had just 2 more assignments that he needed to do in order to actually be able to graduate. We were just trying to get his Fs up to D minuses so that he could be done with it already. And he couldn't even muster the ability to follow through on those tasks for very good reason. And I'm not going to go into all of the brain science in this moment about trauma and anxiety and how all of that affects our executive functions, but boy, do they, and boy, was he experiencing that. So I basically showed up for about 5 hours of Zoom calls with him last week where we just did work side by side. That was the only way he could get it done. He talked, I typed, we pushed through. And in that last hour, after he clicked that last submit button, I just felt this rush of energy happen inside me. And I looked at him and I was like, do you know what you've just done? With that click, you have just finalized all of your work that you needed to do to get your high school diploma. What courage, what fortitude, what resilience it took to stick with it to get to that final click. And I noticed that I was crying, and I took my glasses off, although I'm not wearing them in this video, and I showed him my eyes and I said, look, I'm crying. This is such a big moment. Do you feel it? And he did feel it. He said I sang him the graduation song while he clasped his hands and did this, this success gesture. And then he looked at me, this 18-year-old young man, and he said, thank you for the 7 years of support. 7 years we've been together. I didn't even have that number in my mind, but he did. And it was the most poignant, connecting moment. And I'm so proud of him. More importantly, he's so proud of himself. And sometimes, we just need the support of other people to get us through. So thank you to all the people who are helping the young people get through whatever way you are doing it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And young people, thank you for your resilience and your courage to stick with it and get yourself to that final line. There's a word I'm missing here. Anyway, I'm missing the word, but you know what I mean, everyone. And take good care of yourselves.